Well, Jim, I was reading today about the Perlan Project, which is in Oshkosh. Kathy Hansen sent me a link, and I looked at it, and then I looked at several other links, and I want to ask you, how is the Perlan Project going?
Well, the Perlan Project has finished the construction of our sailplane. We still have about 3 weeks worth of testing and instrument installation, and we are shooting for our first flight on the 19th of August at Redmond, Oregon.
Why Redmond, Oregon?
That is where the airplane has been assembled.
Oh, I see. Okay. So that'll be a test flight.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be in the cockpit?
Yes.
Oh, that'll be exciting, eh?
Yes.
All right, and explain to me a little bit about the Perlan Project. What's its mission and so forth?
The Perlan is a pressurized sailplane. It is designed to go to 90,000 feet. It is pressurized by having a sealed cabin like Spaceship One, and any air losses we have from leaks, which we expect, will be made up with air from the scuba tank. So it will be 21% oxygen, just like the atmosphere that we're breathing right now.
Okay, and you aim for a record, 90,000 feet. That would be a record.
That would not only be a record for gliders. The current glider record is just shy of 51,000 feet. But that would be the highest flight ever flown by a winged airplane in level flight. There have been many flights where airplanes have zoomed above that altitude, but flying at a sustained altitude, that would be the highest ever.
Now, you already hold a distance record, I believe, which you set here in the Sierras.
I've set 13 world records over the years. On Easter Sunday, I claimed the record for the fastest 1,000 kilometer out and return flight that's ever been flown. We did 1,000 kilometers, which is about 620 miles in less than 4 hours in the glider between Inyakern and north of Reno and back. As part of that flight, I flew the longest flight that's ever been flown in the Northern Hemisphere. The FAI doesn't keep records for gliders with more than 3 turn points. This flight was 5 turn points, but it was part of a contest called the online contest. And I'm on track to be world champion for the 4th year in a row, mainly because of that flight. But that flight was 1,800 miles long.
1,800 miles, that's some distance. And
glider without stopping, 2.5 hours.
That's a long time. Yeah.
This fun. It was a fantastic day.
And you landed back here?
I actually took off at Minden and landed back at Minden.
Oh, I see. Okay. And you also went to Argentina and flew.
Yes. The phenomenon that allows us to fly the gliders to high altitude is something called a mountain wave. At our latitude, the top of the mountain wave is typically 40 to 50,000 feet, somewhere in that range. You have to go near the polar regions in order to find strong winds at high altitude, which allows the wave to go to very high altitude. So one of the best places, in fact it's the site of the current world record, is a place in the very southern end of Argentina called El Calafate. It still has the Andes Mountains upwind, which is the phenomenon that generates the wave. Basically, when you have strong winds blowing against the mountain range, as the air goes up and over the mountains, it causes a wave on the downwind side. And that wave is propagated up to high altitude in the atmosphere. And we're able to exploit that and climb to high altitude. We figure it's going to take us about 6 hours to get that high on a good day. So the airplane's designed to fly 8 hours, and enough oxygen and battery and stuff for 8 hours.
So 6 up and 2 down.
Yeah, probably 6 up and less than 1 down. So
oh, okay.
Extra.
Little extra.
Coming down is easy. Gravity always wins.
Yeah. Okay.
Airbus Group is the current major sponsor of the Perlan Project. They came on board a little over a year ago, and their goal is to demonstrate an innovative science project. We will be able to sample the atmosphere as we climb up and down. We'll better understand the physics of some of these lift phenomena as we get to higher altitude. And Airbus is hoping to inspire junior engineers to come join Airbus, because Airbus is willing to do these innovative projects, exciting projects.
Well, I should say, and it makes real sense, because all of the media, including the Roseman News, will be watching this and leading up to it, and hoping that everything works right and celebrating after it does.
Well, thank you, John. Yeah, one of our goals here as part of educational outreach is we're supporting something called CubeSats, and they're little 4 inches on the side, 10 centimeters on the side devices or spaces that allow people to do projects that can be put on the airplane and flown at high altitude. When we're making record attempts, we're planning to have a telemetry system whereby we can allow people to watch the flight real time, kind of like Felix Baumgarten when he jumped out of the big balloon. There'll be many flights. We're not planning to go right to 90,000 feet on the first flight if the weather's perfect, because that's envelope expansion, just like if you had a new fighter.
Yeah.
Each time you go higher, you're essentially expanding the flight envelope. So we'll be disciplined, and we'll take small steps, maybe 10,000 foot steps, as we go up to altitude.
Sure, sure, sure. When will you commence that part of the flying?
The first flight again is in August.
Right.
Then the airplane will be down while we install some additional systems in the airplane. We plan on bringing the sailplane to Minden, Nevada in December. And in January through May next year, we will make altitude flights in the mountain wave that occurs in the Sierra. We're hoping to get to 40,000 feet somewhere along the way to just verify that all the pressurization and life support systems are working and functional. The phenomenon that causes the high altitude winds in the polar regions occurs during the polar wintertime. So that means we'll have to be in Argentina in July through October. So a year from now, we should be in Argentina, and we'll be there probably until October. Anytime that the weather phenomenon sets up, we'll be making an attempt to fly to high altitudes. Unfortunately, each season is different. Some seasons there may be few opportunities, other seasons there may be many opportunities, and we have no idea what will happen in 2016, but we'll be there. We'll be ready.
Okay, okay. But a two-seater aircraft will take an additional pilot on every flight?
Yeah.
And I suppose the controls for the co-pilot are all the same as for the pilot. I mean, if something, outlandish would happen to the pilot, if he blacked out, the guy in the back could do it.
Exactly. The airplane is a typical two-seat sailplane with stick and rudder in both cockpits and spoiler controls in both cockpits. The airplane is also equipped with a drogue chute, so if you have to come down in a hurry, put the drogue chute out, and basically you can come 80 knots straight down. And it will also have a ballistic recovery chute, so if something breaks, you can just put out this very large parachute, and the whole thing will come down underneath the parachute. It'll be a hard landing, but it's very survivable.
And the guy, Jim, that originally conceived this idea, tell me about him.
Now, the gentleman who conceived of the project is Einar Enevoldsen. He, for many years, was working at then NASA Dryden here at Edwards. He's a longtime sailplane pilot. When he retired, he hooked up with Steve Fawcett, and they set the current record. They were flying a sailplane with pressure suits, and realized that the pressure suit, becomes pressurized, becomes very stiff and very difficult to operate inside the small cockpit of a glider. So they decided that after their flight to almost 51,000, they needed to build a pressurized sailplane, and that was the genesis of the project.
You have glided sailplanes for a long time. How high have you gone before?
When I was a staff member at the Air Force Test Pilot School at Edwards in the 1980s, I was part of a group where we scavenged all kinds of parts from around the base. We managed to get SR-71 pressure suit and F-16 liquid oxygen system and X-15 bailout bottle and some other parts, and we put a system together which we put in a sailplane, and I was able to fly that to 42,200 feet up towards Lone Pine.
Wow, that's high. But at that height, the pressure suit balloons up, does it not? You become the Michelin Man.
It sure does. Yeah, it was stiff, but I was very comfortable. I was warm and comfortable, and I was able to operate the stick just like you would at lower altitudes.
I see.
It was getting stiff, you know, but
Yeah.
back then I was a young man and I was motivated. I was a camper.
Right. And with a pressurized cockpit, then that'll go away. So the pressure will compensate the higher you go.
Yeah, the airplane is designed so it's unpressurized to 15,000 feet. And then above 15,000 feet, it will maintain the equivalent of 15,000 feet. Airliner does the same thing. Typically, an airliner stops at 8,000 feet. So
Sure.
up to 8,000 feet, it's slightly pressurized, and then above 8,000 feet, it maintains 8,000 foot cabin altitude.
Sure. Sure. But a normal airliner usually doesn't go much above 30 or 40,000 feet, right?
True statement. Yeah, the current airliners, some of them fly up in the low 40s.
Right. So are there any physiological dangers going beyond 40 that we don't know about? Or
No, I mean, U-2's SR-71s flew up there.
Yeah.
The only real risk is if for some reason the cabin fails.
yeah,
But it's not much different than the risk of, say, the SST, the Concorde. They flew that like 55,000 feet. If the windows had popped out of the Concorde, that would have been a serious problem for them.
right.
And if one of our windows pops out, that's a serious problem. We built a test article which we pressurized to 3 times the normal working pressure. Typically, when you build airplanes, you always have a safety factor of at least 50%. For spacecraft, the safety factor is a factor of 3.
Yeah.
So the airplane's built to safe spacecraft standards.
That'll be good. Having a good, strong sponsor like Airbus come onto the project, we talked a little bit earlier about that, but what kind of a real sponsor are they? Do they make a lot of demands and stuff like that? Or?
No, actually, Airbus has been the perfect sponsor. They have provided technical support where needed it. We found a defect in one of our parts, and they helped us inspect all the other parts to make sure there were no other defects. And overall, highly recommended. They're trying to develop a culture that supports innovation. And this project is very innovative.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. The CEO of Airbus America was my Mechanics 101 instructor when I was a kid.
No, is that right?
I kind of broke the ice when we first went and talked to him.
I should say, yeah, isn't that a coincidence?
Yes,
Small
world.
A small world, that's right. I read on the website about Airbus's innovative program, and they're encouraging young people to bring ideas to them. And this, my gosh, this is right in their bailiwick, isn't it?
It is, and another thing they're very interested in, electric airplanes. They have been working on a project called the E-Fan. And they have a 2-seat electric airplane that they've been flying. And they're hoping to help improve battery technology. And they're even talking about in maybe 10 or 20 years having electric regional airplanes. So if you're going to fly from Palmdale to LAX, it would be on an electric airplane.
Fascinating.
So anybody out there that's good with batteries, they should talk to Airbus.
I heard also that Airbus was kind of looking at this project, maybe using some of the data in the future on Mars.
That's a true statement. The atmospheric pressure on Mars is very low. It's got a very thin atmosphere. And the pressure is very similar to the pressure you see at 90,000 feet on Earth. So if this airplane works all the way up to 90,000 feet where the airfoil is kind of optimized, it's kind of verification that this type of airfoil will work in a thin atmosphere. So a little bit of data for Mars.
So the pod racers that we saw in Star Wars might use some of this technology on Mars.
Now, the pod racers were...
anti-gravity, I think.
They have to be, because where they were flying the pod racers, there was no atmosphere or whatever. So,
Right.
so no atmosphere to generate lift, but it makes for a good movie.
Oh yeah, exciting, that's for sure. This is terrific that they ask you to do this. And I suppose it's because of your lifetime of enthusiasm and excelling at this.
Oh, yes. I've known Einar for many, many years. And when he and Steve Fawcett were preparing to put the pressure suit systems into the Grove 505 that they used to get to almost 51,000 feet, he called me up and I gave him a lot of information about what we had learned when we put the pressure suit in the Grove back in the 80s. So, so it's been, probably the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And having, this background that suited the project.
I should say. Well, Roseman doesn't have anybody else like that. And we'll be happy to tell everybody here about it. But also, thanks for this interview, which I'm sure air enthusiasts worldwide will be anxious to hear and see. And we certainly want to keep track of the progress. And we wish you well. Bon voyage,
Well, thank you, John. PerlanProject.org. We're going to try to keep that updated as well as we can. We're blogging information on there, and when we're making flights, there will be links there where you can observe the flight.
Sure.
We're even talking if we can get enough bandwidth and streaming video.
So, oh, wouldn't that be good?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, how much do you need, do you think? Well, you might need...
Well, it depends. If you're doing HD video, that's quite a bit more bandwidth than some other formats.
Right.
We're in early stages. We're working with production companies trying to find a good solution, especially in southern Argentina where we may not have the bandwidth that you might have if you're flying over Reno.
You'd probably have to go to the satellite, I think. If you...
Yeah, we prefer not to just because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
We'll be flying at pretty high altitude, so we'll always be line of sight to the airport. So if you had a station at the airport you're flying from, they could receive the data.
Sure. Do you take your iPad with you in the Perlan Project?
Actually, we plan to.
Oh.
Yes, we have. Garmin Corporation gave us a basically self-contained system that does GPS and aircraft attitude. And rather than coming up with an expensive solution to have backup attitude information in the Perlan, they just provided one of these systems to us, and it Bluetooths to an iPad, so it displays the attitude and position of the airplane. It's a simple yet effective solution for backup attitude and navigation data.
That's right. And I remember when you asked me, before you bought your first one, you asked for my recommendation, and I said yes. And you've taken it far beyond what I thought, but that's marvelous.
Yes, John.
That's great. Well, again, best of luck and bon voyage. And Jackie, I presume, goes along in all this stuff?
Yeah, she's actually going to be the official observer. The FAI requires an observer for any record attempt.
Uh-huh.
And she's been doing it for many, many years, and she's highly respected. In fact, many years ago, she wrote a book on how to be a good official observer.
Really? Really? That'll be good. And what is the official observer supposed to document?
Well, there are specific rules on information that the FAI wants to verify that the recorder that was used to create the flight log was the one that was in the glider. There's other information that
I see.
they use to verify that
I see.
it was correctly done.
Reliable third party, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Jim. Best of luck.
Thanks, John.
Mm-hmm.